Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I'm Dr. Jackie, and today we have our health and wellness panel. I'm excited to introduce our guest panelists. We have Mr. Wallace Merriman. He's a health and fitness coach specializing in weight loss for women. He's a retired U.S. Army Master Fitness Trainer and Special Agents Trainer for the Federal Law Enforcement. He's also an instructor for Arthritis Foundation, and he's the owner of UB Fit Health and Wellness located right here in Bowie, Maryland. We also have Dr. Gloria. Dr. Gloria is currently an oncology pharmacologist for Mount Sinai Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, and she specializes now in working with cancer patients. And our other guest is Dr. Knights. She is a naturopathic medicine doctor right here in Maryland. Her clinic is Nirvana Holistic Medicine. She practices naturopathic medicine, herbal medicine, hormone balance, immune boosting, IV infusion therapy, and much more. So today I'm excited to have our guests here today, and we're going to focus on three things that affect our community the most, which is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. So Mr. Wallace, I'm going to start with you because you're our fitness instructor and our nutritionist. So what things should we always make sure that we have when we're going to the grocery store? We know prices have gone up. We don't want to skip on our health. So trying to prevent these three things, the diabetes, the high cholesterol, and the hypertension, what foods should we be eating on a daily basis?
Excellent. First of all, happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Thank you.
I've been married 28 years, so it's the same thing. I just woke up this morning and said, thank you, Lord, for another Mother's Day. So I want to wish you also the same. I use the analogy of whenever you go to the supermarket, you should do what I call perimeter shopping, right? Perimeter shopping is essentially that you go inside the grocery store, you go to the dairy aisle, you go to the meat aisle, you go over to the frozen aisle, and then the produce aisle, and then you leave. Then you leave. Because remember, anything inside the grocery, inside, is processed, right? That means it has to be shelf stable. If it's shelf stable, that means they have to put certain chemicals in there to expand the life of it, which means that you've now taken something that had life, and now it's death. And in order for you to stretch, you have to put something in it to basically compromise how you would live and how you should live. I want people to kind of think about it this way, that your body is your temple. God gave you a temple. That's the only thing that you have. And unfortunately, we abuse it because, for one thing, that we got it for free. We got our temple for free. And when you get something for free, what do you do with it? You abuse it. You neglect it. Right? I gave my son an automobile, and he tore that thing up. He didn't even care. But when he got he bought his own car. Whole different scenario, right? It's because when you have something that you paid for. So maybe God should have made us pay for this thing first. Maybe we would have thought a little different about it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. And I know that you buying all the food that doesn't have labels, your cart should be full of that, right? So that's your vegetables and your fruits. So now getting to working out. We know that's a big thing, hard thing for people because one thing is I don't have time or I have other ailments, right? I have back issues, I have knee problems, those things. So what type of exercise, if we're just getting started, again, because we know we need to exercise at least 30 minutes a day, right? Yep. What type of exercise can we start doing even if we have any of those ailments going on?
So let's look at it as a foundation. I usually, with every client that I would sit down and I would give them the four foundations would be, number one is eating. And when you eat, you're eating every 3 to 4 hours, whether you're hungry or not. But every time that you eat, you're eating a carbohydrate and a protein, right? If you're eating both, you're eating throughout the day, you're controlling your blood sugar, right? One of the things you want to do is control that blood sugar. The second thing is exercise. And you should do cardio, but you should also do strength training. But really, you should spend more time doing strength training. We spend too much time doing cardio. Nothing wrong with cardio. Cardio strengthens the heart. But when we're doing strength training, you're strengthening your muscles. And the more muscles that you build, you turn your body into a furnace. You also capitalize, your metabolism starts to raise. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. Exercise-wise, if you're spending more time doing strength training, as you get older, every 2 to 3 years, you're losing 1, 2, 3% of your muscle mass. by if you're doing nothing, you're already at a deficit. So just doing some kind of exercise. So strength training is something that you're strengthening your body, using something against the body, whether it be in your body weight or some kind of device. It could be a dumbbell, a kettlebell, resistant bands, anything like that. But if you're spending more time doing strength training, you're going to spend more time also providing things that you could have injury. God forbid if something happens, for example, your hip, right? If you break your hip, there's going to be a problem, right? So wouldn't we want to spend time doing things that require strength training to help you with those areas? So focus more on strength training. Again, if you took the whole day and you said, for the week, I have 150 minutes, I would ask you to think about taking 100 of those minutes doing some form of strength training and taking 50 minutes doing some kind of cardio. In cardio, honestly, the most effective way to lose weight is just walking every single day. You will burn more fat, more body fat, because we're not talking about calories. There's a difference between burning calories from fat and burning calories from carbohydrates. When you're burning from calories from fat is when you walk. You might see people that walk every day and they look great and they're like, well, what are you doing? So I'm walking. Yeah, but what else are you doing? I'm walking. But what else are you doing? I said I'm walking. And that's probably the truth, because the more you walk, the more your body, and that's something you can do every day as a habit, right? That makes sense, everyone?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We just had a walk last Saturday, and I had a great turnout, and we had one of our V partners who just had double knee replacement, and that was her first walk, and she walked more than everybody. So, yeah, that's good. Yes, exactly, right, exactly. When you pay for it, now you know what to do with it this time around. But you don't want to get to that point, so start walking.
I want to just add one thing. I have my oldest client, she's 88 years old. She trains with me every week, twice a week at my house. So I literally have a mini LA Fitness at my home, right? And it's in my garage, so I train people from my home. But 86 years old, doing kettlebell swings, walks every day, 2 knee replacements. And if you saw her, you would never, many times if you have knee replacement, you could see by your gait. Your gait may be off or you're moving back and forth. But again, if you're doing something every day and you're allowing your body to be strengthened and you're eating the right foods, remember, food, honestly, the nutrition part is more important than the exercise.
Yes.
Because you're eating 15 hours probably throughout the day.
Yeah.
You might work out 1 hour, maybe. But if you don't work anything, at least that you're putting in good food in your body.
That's good, that's good. All right, Dr. Knights, you're a naturopathic doctor, so first tell everyone what your practice is and what that means.
Okay, thank you very much. And please forgive me, my voice might be a little scratchy, so I think I'm going to use myself as an experiment today, because I woke up this morning sounding great, and then I coughed, and I was like, ooh, lost my voice 10 minutes before I'm supposed to get on stage. Excellent. So I love herbs. Herbs is one of the things I do a lot of. And upstairs, we're going to be doing some herb tasting. And I cannot wait to drink some mint tea and see this voice clear up. You guys will get to see herbs in action today. I'm going to be a science experiment to see how this truly works. But so naturopathic physicians are licensed primary care physicians that focus on natural medicine. And that's what I do. My practice is in Greenbelt, Maryland. And I'll give an example. Someone comes into my office for, I'll take one of our conditions that we're discussing today, diabetes, which is a very common in our community. I have the option of saying, okay, well, I can give you metformin or one of these drugs, which I'm allowed to do, or we can talk about what you're putting in your body every day. Are the preservatives affecting the ability to metabolize and utilize insulin? I can also show you herbs that can help with diabetes. I can also instruct you on even things like IVs that can help with IVs. Alpha lipoic acid is a really good mineral that we find in supplements, but can be put in an IV to really resensitize your body to insulin. And then I can educate you on why your body is insensitive to insulin, because it's not just that I ate too much sugar. It's part of it. But the question is, when you ate sugar, we all eat things carbs that turn into sugar, but your body is supposed to be able to metabolize and utilize that for energy and not store it as fat or cause you to develop an insensitivity to insulin, to glucose, and then develop diabetes. So in my practice, I educate, I teach you why your body is doing what it's doing, because I strongly believe me just giving things, you're not learning on your own. I want you to grasp the information, utilize it for your body, and then tell somebody else. Educate them, because that's how you create community wellness, right? When everyone is kind of understanding what's going on with my body, and then they come to that understanding and then say, you know what, you should probably find out for yourself too. Yeah.
That's great, yes, because there are alternatives. And, during conservative medicine, they're going to also, your doctor's always going to pre-warn you. Even our pastor talks about how the doctor, her cholesterol was a little up, and he's like, well, I'm going to put you on medicine if you come back and you're still high. And she turned around, did everything she needed to do with her diet and exercise, and her numbers went down. So there are things that you can do to prevent becoming on medication or on insulin. And so Dr. Gloria is the pharmacist, so, she's the legal drug doctor. So her job is to kind of, push us that way. However, I want her to speak more about supplements. A lot of us take supplements, and when we go to the doctor, when they ask you, on the paper, what prescriptions are you taking or what medications, you don't put down those supplements. However, those supplements can have some adverse reactions to some of the medications that you're taking. So, Dr. Gloria, what type of interaction, can you give an example of one of those interactions from food or from supplements?
Well, it's a victory day, everybody. One of those things that we see a lot, even though I specialize in oncology, I'm interested in homeopathic medicine. And most drugs started off with a plant-based source. And then, of course, the drug companies came in and they made all the synthetic ones. Some of the interactions that we see a lot is if you're on medications for cholesterol, you can't, if you go and take, they interact with grapefruit juice, they interact with blood orange, which is a really sweet orange, and you can also have some adverse effects from those. So you have to tell your physician or your pharmacist when you pick up your medication, what else are you taking? Now, every supplement that's on the market may say it's natural and that it's good for you. Don't believe everything you hear. Because a lot of times, like elderberry, we took a lot of that during COVID. With elderberry, you had to take that every 4 hours in order for it to be effective. But it also determined what's your source of the elderberry. Did it come from the root? Did it come from the leaf? How much elderberry was in the tablet? Even though these products are on the market, they don't have the strict FDA regulations to say they have to have so much in the pill. Or where did it come from? So everything that says it's natural is not always good for you. Some of the supplements and dietary agents that we have on the market over the counter that you can buy, most of them have effects like aspirin. They decrease inflammation. But if you know anything about aspirin, it also increases it thins out your blood. So if you're taking a blood thinner and you decide, well, I've got a headache, aspirin is the last thing that you need. Because then if you scrape yourself, you hit yourself, and you have this big old bruise. What we see a lot with patients with warfarin, they always come in with black eyes. You're like, who beat you up? No, they just fell, or they might have hit themselves instantly when they were sleeping the night before, because they on a blood thinner, might have taken some aspirin or an aspirin-containing product. One of the cough syrups has aspirin in it, and then they end up bleeding under the skin. The worst thing is that you're going to have a bleed in your head. So you have to be careful of the medications that you're taking and also what you're buying over the counter yourself. Because we all like some control, but control comes with education.
Yes.
If you don't see Dr. Knight, you always have your pharmacist at the window. They may be busy, but just wait. And VGC, you can always call me.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you for that, Dr. Gloria. So as you see, again, all the things, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the diabetes, all those are preventable, and they're also reversible just by changing your lifestyle. And have to become a habit. A habit, if you do it every day, it become a habit, right? Just like Mr. Wallace talked about walking. If you're doing that every day and being consistent with that, just blocking out some time. Everybody gets the same 24 hours. You just have to manage it better, but make your health a priority and put those things on your calendar. Write out your plan for your meals. That way you don't go to those middle aisles, right? And put all the things that you know you shouldn't be putting in there regardless. If you're like, oh, I'm just gonna eat a handful. Or you look at the servings, you'd be like, oh, that's not a lot. But the servings, realistically, those of you who love potato chips, it's like 10, you're supposed to eat like 10 per serving, right? Who's gonna eat 10 potato chips, right? Nobody's gonna sit there and count it. So just do without, right? So I just wanna thank my guests for being here. We do have a wonderful event for the women that is happening right after the service upstairs. You're gonna come upstairs, get pampered. Dr. Knight's gonna educate you some more on the natural herbs, also with the essential oils. You'll get to make your own. There's gonna be some massages upstairs. We have some great raffle prizes for you. So please, after service, make sure that you come upstairs, and you'll actually have a time to ask questions to our experts, okay? Thank you so much, and again, happy Mother's Day. Go that way. To that left.
What a joy it is to hear someone call you mommy for the first time. Staring into the bright eyes of someone who belongs to you. We cherish the experience of being able to walk in the strength and the joy that comes with being a mother. We love through the days of decisions that our children make that we don't agree with, but certainly they are still our babies to raise. We stand tall and walk with pride because being a mother is a badge of honor unlike anything that we could ever experience. It's just a step below that of God's magnificent love for us. We breathe life and are the very first teachers that our children will have. We train them up hoping that they won't depart from their values in the end. For them, we go without, and we help them along the way when they are in doubt. We step in to raise children that we didn't birth because we are Mother Earth. We take liberties to make sure that they feel special on birthdays and when they come home with straight A's. We wipe their tears after they have made a mistake, and we hold them through their first heartbreaks because mama never takes a break. She's anointed to always be a caretaker. Moms, mothers-to-be, mothers-in-law, surrogate, adoptive moms, and all in between. Happy Mother's Day. We salute you today, Queen. Join us for our next Victory in-person service on May 14th when we will celebrate mothers. Remember, it's a Victory Day.
Praise the Lord, VGC. It's a victory day. Oh, come on. I said it's a victory day.